It's one of the scariest things we've ever went through, but it's made us so much stronger. Welcome to Growing Roots, our homestead story. This is our second episode. It's a good afternoon. Well, it's good afternoon for me. It's going to be good morning for you because I don't do this live. But last week was our first episode. I'm Kale, and kids are playing in the backyard, so you might hear them a little bit, but it's all part of homesteading. And I'm building a elevated garden bed. So this is from a company that sent it to me, and they want me to make a video on it. So I'm building it now while I talk to y'all, and then I'll make a video on it later, and you can watch that at that time. But it's called Garvey. This is the bed. I'll leave a link down below. But with that being said, we're going to get into today's topic, which is kind of an extension of last week. And I talked about how I got into homesteading and the reasons that I got into homesteading. And so now I'm going to talk about my wife and some of the reasons that she got into homesteading. And she will be in next week's episode, so you can hear some stuff from her. But she is cooking pizza right now. So she's cooking pizza, kids are playing in the yard, and I'm building a garden bed. But yeah, to talk about her. So when I started what I was doing, she was working in marketing for the same company that I had left, and was doing a great job at it. She actually had just received a performance bonus raise and got some praise from their international advisor folks. And then as soon as she sent an email, because she was 6 months pregnant, as soon as she sent an email about her maternity leave, that afternoon she was terminated. So she had just gotten a raise and just gotten a performance approval of how great of a job she was doing. And as soon as she sent an email about having a baby and having to take some time off of work, got rid of her. So this meant she was coming home. And so we had to kind of do a shift, and it's something that we didn't really think about. We were just talking about it today, because at that time I was, stay-at-home dad. I was watching the kids. I was taking care of the kids. And then I worked at nights to supplement our income with her income. But I had gone from the primary breadwinner to the secondary breadwinner. And then now she lost her job, and I'm back to primary. And she, who has always been very, very big on, participating, always wanted to, add to the family, add to the income, and, didn't want me having to do it all by myself. She was taking care of our kids. So it was different, and it was pretty hard for her. When you make a plan, which our plan was, she was going to keep working until my business was established, and then we would transition her out of the corporate life as well. And then it ended, and she'll probably talk a little bit about it next week as well. But, it's just like I did in the initial part with the woodworking aspect, is I felt like I failed. And so, we had that conversation, and she had had a similar feeling like she had failed. And so it's hard. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you guys decide to take that jump and take that step, you're going to go through things like that. Because now also, you have to remember, we had an income, a six-figure income, close around that 200,000 range. We just cut in the last year our income down from 200,000 down to about 75, 80,000. And now we're just working off of my $30,000, $20,000 or $30,000 that I was making. So big changes, very, very big changes that had to come of this. And if I hadn't said it before, again, it was scary. This one came in broken. Let's see if I can make this work. I hope it works. But very, very scary. So she is now no longer in the workforce. She is at home with the kids. I am putting in more hours on the road, door dashing. I'm still doing a little bit of the wood stuff. Mostly at this point, it was just when somebody would contract me, a lot of my income was just from the door dashing. But if we didn't communicate how we did, this wouldn't be possible. When you choose to live this life, you have to make sure that your partner is on board with you. And that's one thing that I can say is, if there's anything, my wife and I know how to communicate with each other. And it's not by accident. It's been very intentional that we make sure that we communicate with each other. I am not afraid to tell my wife when I'm struggling. I take that back. Actually, I don't like doing it at all. I don't like telling my wife when I'm struggling because, again, as a man, you don't want to do that. But it's important to have a partner that you can talk to about that. Same thing with my wife. My wife is a very strong woman, and she leans on me a lot. She's my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, as I am hers. So neither one of us likes admitting when we need help, but when you're in a partnership, you have to. And so we've gotten pretty good at communicating that way. It doesn't mean that we don't have our off days. Going back to her whole development in this, she was 6 months pregnant. Don't forget about that. She was 6 months pregnant. And amazing woman. After all of our rabbit holes of researching medicines and various things like that, my wife decided to do a natural childbirth for our third child. For our first baby, she had, the thing that induces the labor. He was born a little bit early, though. He was born in 2020 during the whole shutdown. And so he was born during that time, but he was 2 weeks early. She had the inducing, she had the epidural. Second baby, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what the doctors tell you to do, is the epidural. We opted as a couple. Of course, it was her final decision. For any of you bleeding feminists out there, it was her final decision on whether or not she would use the epidural. And we felt like it was something that we wanted to do as a family. She wanted to do as a strong woman, and so she didn't. And watching her go through the natural childbirth, I feel like sent my love of her to a new level that I didn't know existed. Because at that point, it really was a true sacrifice. She did a great job, but that was one of her really entry points with that, is just realizing all of the stuff that they're putting. So, of course, homesteading life, we want to try and live as natural as possible. We like to practice what we preach. So, my wife had a natural childbirth. So now, she's at home with a brand new baby, a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and she wasn't even 2 at the time. He wasn't even 4. Now they're 2 and 4. So she is taking care of 3 kids at home while I am out working. This is where sourdough comes in. So she had known how to do sourdough. She had made a little bit, but she started making sourdough. She started making sourdough pies. It's actually one of my favorite things that she does, is the pies. And we actually started selling the sourdough pies for holidays. So she did pumpkin pie, and she did apple pie, and she did pecan pie. Of course, you got to do pecan for the holidays. Hold on one second, I'm going to fuss at my kids because I told them not to play in the carport, and they're playing in the carport. They don't notice I'm talking about them either. Hey, all right, we're back. So yeah, her entry was the pies. So she's making the pies. I was doing the chicken processing. She did help me with the processing, whatever she could, as best as she could. But at the same time, she's watching the kids. And again, remember, we are homesteading full time. I'm also doing door dashing, delivery service full time. So you have to make sure that you have a role. You have to have a labor role. Who is going to do what? You can't just go into a marriage, a partnership, or anything like that. I didn't think I'd be having marriage advice here, but we do have a really good relationship, so I don't mind doing it. But you just can't go into it without a plan. You can't say, oh, well, they're just supposed to do this, and we're supposed to do that, and, we're equals, so they do 50% of the chores, and I do 50% of the chores. I can't tell you the last time I did laundry. She always does the laundry. She hates doing the laundry, but it's a trade-off. I get the laundry dirty and then she does it. It's fair. So I'm just kidding. She's laughing behind me. But you have to figure out what your trade-off is going to be. Set up your rules and you stick to them until the other person is having issues, and then that's when you step in. That's where it really comes in, and being a good spouse and being a good partner. You know, when my wife is sick, you know, I'll step in where I need to step in. Just like when I'm really busy at work, I'm stressed out about stuff, she will step in feeding the chickens, feeding the turkeys, and all that kind of stuff. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't even really sure if she wanted to do this lifestyle. I really wasn't. It wasn't until we started talking about the natural childbirth that I really saw, like, okay, this is something that she wants as well. I tell you, this is giving me a hard time on this one. So yes, it's definitely been a little bit of a ramble, but hey, again, I don't have time to just sit and chit chat. You know, we have things to do. But again, so you had my breakdown last week, her breakdown. Was leading the way financially for us. Got terminated from her job. Had an all-natural baby. And now she does it all. She takes care of the chickens. She takes care of the turkeys. And I think that's a big thing as well is, you know, I used to always take care of the chickens and the turkeys. I did all of that. And we make sure that both of us know how to do everything the other person does. So she knows how to do all the things that I do. I know how to do all the things that she does. We're better at different things, which is where our assigned roles come in. But we are both completely capable of taking on the other's duties if the situation requires it. Right now, her venture, and that's the primary focus, is king cakes. So sourdough king cakes. She actually makes dye-free sprinkles because it's king cake season. For those of y'all who watched us previously, and if you didn't know, we live in southern Louisiana. We are fairly close to New Orleans. And so it is king cake season. So we make sourdough king cakes with dye-free sprinkles. She does them all pre-order. So people make their orders. And I just realized that these holes are on top. And I think these holes are supposed to be on bottom. Son of a gun, they are. They should have showed that in the directions first, Garvey. So yeah, while I take apart everything that I did, though, my wife has talked about, and she'll be on next week, we're going to talk about a lot of the struggle, even more of the struggles of homesteading. But losing her job and coming home to take care of the kids full time, you know, really allowed her to step into the role of a traditional homemaker and housewife. And she loves it, and I love it. You know, as her husband, you know, I love the fact that my kids are at home and they're learning from her, and you know, somebody else isn't raising our children. You know, I also trust her enough to teach them, obviously. Just the number of conversations that we've had about, you know, if she had still been in the corporate life, the things that she would have missed out on, that she's not missing out on because she is at home. So it was a fluke. We were thrown into that aspect. You know, my leaving was planned. Her leaving was not. It just accelerated everything super fast. We had to figure it out on the fly. But at the end of the day, it's great. It's one of the scariest things we've ever went through, but it's made us so much stronger, both in our relationship with each other and our relationship with God. Next week, we're going to talk about the struggles that we went through. So you know how I came into homesteading, you know how my wife came into homesteading. We're going to talk about all the struggles that we've gone through in the year previous, and then where it's starting to go into now. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week. Growing Roots, our homestead story. Oh, and check out, like I said, I'm going to put the link down in the description, and then the video will come out sometime later in the week for the actual thing itself once I finish it. Enjoy homesteading. And buy one of these things, because then I make money. See you later.